My son held the door for his teacher and got suspended for inappropriate contact. Vince is 12. He still watches Bluey with his little sister. He folds his socks. He once cried because he stepped on a snail. So when Principal Donovan looked me dead in the eye and said my son was being suspended for inappropriate physical contact with a female staff member, I genuinely thought I was being pranked. I was not being pranked. Here's what happened. Vince held the door open for his teacher, Mrs. Hartley, after class. She claims his arm brushed against hers while doing it. She felt unsafe. She reported it. Now my honor roll kid, who's never had so much as a detention, is sitting in the corner of the principal's office looking at me like he doesn't understand what he did wrong, because he didn't do anything wrong. I asked if there was security footage. The principal said the cameras in that hallway had a storage malfunction and the footage was deleted. I asked when the malfunction happened. He suddenly couldn't remember. That's when I stopped asking nicely. I spent the first night trying to explain to Vince why he was in trouble for being polite. I couldn't, because there was no explanation. So I stopped trying to understand and started trying to fight. I requested a formal appeal. The school said I had to wait until the investigation concluded. I requested the incident report. They said it was confidential. I requested the names of any witnesses. They said there were none. Interesting, because when I talked to Vince, he told me there were at least 6 kids in that hallway. I started reaching out to parents. Took me 3 days to find 4 families willing to talk. All 4 kids said the same thing. Vince held the door, stood off to the side, didn't touch anyone. One kid said, Mrs. Hartley didn't even say thank you. But here's what really got my attention. One of the moms asked me if this was another one of Mrs. Hartley's things. I asked what she meant. She told me there had been 2 other boys in the past 5 years, both accused of vague, inappropriate behavior. Both had footage that mysteriously disappeared. Both families stopped fighting and transferred their kids out. I asked if anyone ever proved anything. She said no one ever tried hard enough. I decided to try harder. Here's something Principal Donovan didn't know about me. I've worked in data recovery for 12 years. Deleted doesn't mean gone. It means hidden. The school security system backs up to a district server every 72 hours. Nobody told them that. I pulled the footage myself. First video, Vince holding the door standing 3 feet away. Mrs. Hartley walking through without a glance, 0 contact. Second video, 10 minutes later, Mrs. Hartley in the hallway with the attendant secretary, practicing her reaction, faking a flinch, laughing, then heading toward the principal's office to file her report. I downloaded both clips. Then, I called the district superintendent and requested an emergency meeting. I told them I had new evidence that would help resolve the situation. I didn't tell them what it was. I wanted to see their faces. They thought I was coming to beg. I could see it in their faces when I walked in. Principal Donovan looked bored. Mrs. Hartley looked smug. The superintendent looked like he had somewhere else to be. The district lawyer was typing on her phone. They offered me a seat at the end of the table like I was the one on trial. The superintendent asked what evidence I wanted to share. I didn't answer. I just connected my laptop to the projector. First clip, hallway camera. Vince holding the door standing completely still. Mrs. Hartley walking through without even glancing at him. 3 feet of space between them. No contact, no nothing. Just a kid being polite. Mrs. Hartley stopped looking smug. I said I have one more. Second clip, same hallway. 10 minutes later, Mrs. Hartley with the front office secretary, arms crossed, then uncrossed, then a fake flinch, then a practiced look of discomfort. The secretary nodding like a director, both of them laughing. Then Mrs. Hartley heading toward the principal's office to file a report about something that never happened. I let the video play, then I played it again. The superintendent turned to Mrs. Hartley and said, "Is there something you'd like to tell us?" She tried to speak, couldn't. Then the tears came. Principal Donovan suddenly looked very interested in his shoes. The superintendent told me Vince's record would be cleared by end of day. Mrs. Hartley was escorted out 15 minutes later. Principal Donovan was put on administrative review. I walked out without saying another word. I didn't have to. I picked Vince up from the house that afternoon. He got in the car, quiet, scared, like he still didn't know if he was in trouble. I told him his record was cleared. He asked what that meant. I said it meant none of this ever happened. He thought about it for a second. Then he said, "But it did happen, right? She lied about me." I told him, "Yes, she did." He nodded, didn't say anything else until we got home. Then he looked at me and said, "I'm still going to hold doors." I told him, "Good." Mrs. Hartley was fired. Principal Donovan retired. The district is being sued by 2 other families. And my son still opens doors for strangers because that's who he is.